Good afternoon. It's 1 o'clock on Monday, the 3rd of April. We're starting a new month this week, and it's our Monday magic time as well. So this week, what I was thinking about is we know a start of a new month, start of a new theme. Last month we were looking very much at gender parity and supporting that within the workplace. This month, the theme is all about psychological safety. And today I'm reflecting on what exactly that is and why it's so important to you as a leader that you create psychological safety in your workplace. What difference does that make? Well, to start off with, in terms of thinking about what psychological safety is, it is a set of beliefs and a set of behaviors that enable a sense, a feeling that it's okay to be myself here. So, if psychological safety exists, then there is a reduction in any fear that people might be punished or humiliated for voicing their opinion, for speaking truth to power. All of those elements that often hold us back and cause us to feel frightened in the workplace are addressed, and it is acknowledged within that workplace that it's okay to have a different opinion. In fact, in some cases, I'm thinking about the work of Patrick Lencioni. He talks about, to be on an effective team, you have to have constructive conflict. Well, if there isn't any psychological safety, there will not be constructive conflict. So, conflict helps us voice differences. It helps us be creative. It helps us innovate because we're able to give our different opinions of things. We're able to see or flag if we think mistakes are going to be made without fear of getting into trouble. That conflict really is very constructive and something that we need to have in the workplace, but it won't be there unless there is psychological safety. So, there's lots that's been written about it. Amy Edmondson's written a whole book about the Fearless Organization, which is all her research and work into psychological safety. Google have also done lots of research around Project Aristotle, where they looked at what really contributes to high-performing teams. And what they found was that teams where psychological safety were present were by far more high-performing than teams where it wasn't present. So they see it as a really critical element to a team performing at its best. So we can say then that psychological safety is fundamental to creating a productive workplace, to ensuring that there is full performance and that people bring their full selves to work and are able to work in line with their full potential. So what it takes is a culture where people are able to be creative, able to be courageous, so they can be creative. It's much harder to be creative if you think your ideas are going to get criticized or pushed back. But working cultures that are courageous, that encourage people to take risks, to make mistakes, that it's acknowledged it's okay to make mistakes. And sometimes that can be hard. If you're a leader who prefers to make sure everything is perfect, everything is right, there's something about learning to let go of that so that you can be more comfortable with the fact that actually when mistakes happen, that's an opportunity for learning, and it's also an opportunity for creativity. And people have got to feel okay to do that. There's also that whole thing about being able to speak up and speak truth to power. And often in organizations, people talk about the CEO's job is the loneliest job in an organization because they're at the top of the organization and people see them as the most powerful and don't necessarily speak the truth to them. And it's so, so important, particularly if you're trying to enable change and positive change, particularly around social change as well, to be able to flag when things are happening and people are being treated in a certain way that is not okay with human rights, for example, with encouraging inclusion and diversity. All of those things, those unconscious behaviors need to be flagged and need to be called out. And that is much less likely to happen if psychological safety doesn't exist. So where it does exist, it encourages people to be open, it encourages people to be honest, and to also respect each other's differences and be able to voice those differences in a way where they know they'll be respected and they'll be heard as well. So as we enter this week, I'm thinking maybe as a leader, consider how you show up in any given moment. Notice your own mood, become more conscious of your own mood, your own attitude, and how that might be impacting the atmosphere that you're creating around you, and whether that's encouraging psychological safety and encouraging people to speak up. I can think of one leader that I worked with who really wanted people to speak up and be contributing in his meetings, but was really struggling with that. And when I observed his meeting, what I noticed was he was incredibly enthusiastic, but he also dominated the meeting. So he didn't actually allow the space for people to speak up. So that's why looking to your own behavior and how you're showing up can make such a difference to encourage that free debate, that open debate, to encourage constructive conflict, which is so important to creating trust and to bringing ideas forward that will also encourage progress and higher performance. Consider your own behavior. How is it impacting those around you? Are you truly encouraging others to feel safe and to speak their truth to you? So that's what I'm going to leave you with for the week. So notice how you're being, notice how you're showing up and how that might impact the psychological safety of those around you. And maybe think about when you feel more or less psychologically safe as well, and what's going on in those circumstances too. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. I'm going to just also remind you that coming up this month on the 20th of April at 5 p.m. this time, we have another Leadership Live session, and that is looking at psychological safety and looking at our egos as well and how they can get in the way, how we can get in our own way to creating that psychological safety. Do sign up for that. We will be posting about that as the month progresses. Otherwise, have a good week and just notice how you get on with creating those psychologically safe environments around you. Bye for now.